Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Am I Wrong Though? So, I've been thinking, right? I'm trying to do more, say less, and find a nice balance between life, work, and personal pleasure, right? And I wanted the topic of this episode to be about kind of like a self discovery, kind of the whole mantra of like kind of what I wouldn't say what you're supposed to be doing in this world, but kind of how to find happiness, if that makes sense. Because I kind of been on my own journey of learning what I want to do, how I want to do things, how I want to live kind of the rest of my life. Sorry, I look a little bit, unkempt, but it's I letting some things grow out before I groom. I've been kind of in the in the cave recently trying to get some stuff figured out. But yeah, so long story short, well, I guess long story since that's what it's about. It's just about me talking and yapping and hopefully somebody listening. If not, then oh well. I've been on a journey of trying to figure out how I want to live my life because, I am well, I'm about to be 29 coming up here this year. And I feel like there's always like a constant shift with how you grow, if that makes sense. Like there's always a hurdle. Like you don't think from 12 to 17, 18, you don't think the same. Your mind changes. From 18 to 24, your mind changes. From 24 to 28, your mind changes. And it's just like, I had to really sit down and kind of think, what do I want the rest of my life to look like? What's important to me? What values do I hold dear? And some people may get that figured out early, but for me, it's kind of like how pretty much, yeah, how do I want to spend the rest of my life? And I'm pretty sure other people maybe around this age, maybe earlier, maybe later, probably go through the same point as well. Because, certain things just aren't as important anymore. Other things kind of become more important. I know I'm kind of being very vague, but like I said, it's just me talking and kind of going through the motions and trying to work out my own thoughts. And hopefully it helps somebody else too. Because, recently I've been going through situations with life and kind of been stuck in that hustle culture to where, you're always told, especially as a man, you got to work hard, work hard, work hard, delay, pleasures to get to the real goal later so you can have everything that you want and you can really enjoy life. And of course, there's a middle ground with everything, but someone's calling me. There we go. Hopefully that didn't knock out the audio. But noticing that working, if all you do is work and you don't do anything else, can you really say that you're enjoying life? Like, yes, there's those people who enjoy work, who really like the work that they do and that they all for the grind and everything. But for me, I just kind of had to sit down and be like, man, is this worth it? Like, if I sacrifice these early years for later on, is it really possible for me to not have fun at the same time and to really enjoy life? Because I tend to find myself looking back and thinking about the past and how much fun I had in the past when I was younger, when I was going out, when I was hanging out with friends more, when I was going to clubs, I was traveling, and just doing stuff, having fun, exploring, and trying new things. And it kind of hit me that I was just like, man, I really just I sit in the past and I really try to bring that back into my future. And knowing how much how do you say it? What's the word for it? Nostalgia can play a big part in things, because sometimes nostalgia is just nostalgia. It's your imagination building something up to be better in your mind than it was in actual real life. Like how, sometimes I do miss the old days. If I could go back and restart my life, I probably would. Not because there's too much wrong with it now. It's just that, being a kid, not having to worry about bills, not having to worry about responsibilities, other than, hanging out with friends, you doing your homework, if you lived on your parents' roof or people taking care of you type of thing. And, it was just that. It was a lot simpler time. But, you had your hardships back then too that you don't really think about now. You know what I mean? You had your teenage dramas. You had to figure out who you were. You had to deal with people and like the awkwardness of growing up. And I mean, it would be better if I could go back with the knowledge I have now, then I can make different choices. But I'm assuming that if you just go back, then you just kind of restart in general. But yeah, it's having to go on a journey of understanding. Okay, well, what's important to you? Of course, I want to make a lot of money. Who doesn't want to make a lot of money? Who doesn't want to live comfortably? Who doesn't want to have a stable job? Have their parents or guardians or someone that they're close to look up to them and be like, yeah, I'm proud of this person because look what they're doing in life, and have other people look at and respect you. So it's like, well, what is the meaning of all this? What is the meaning of being here? What is the meaning of like how hard should I work that's reasonable, and how hard should I be working, or should I be enjoying my life? And God. All right, back to what I was saying. My mom called me, so of course gonna call me twice and throw me off track. But what was I saying? Spiritual journey. I'm probably gonna repeat myself because I gotta catch back up on my thought process. The journey of understanding what you're really supposed to be doing, and that's the craziest thing I think to understand, is that life really doesn't have a set rule book. You know what I mean? There's that saying, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. Like there really is. There's many different ways that you can live your life and possibly find happiness in it, possibly find purpose in it. So it's just like, well, now I have to figure out what works for me in a sense. Because yeah, this person can grind and grind and grind, and then when they hit 30, they can live their life. Or this person may not find the understandableness in it. Like, do you really have to grind all the way like through your 30s to be happy later on in the future? Like, yeah, you should work. That's understandable. That's for everybody. You should work so you can get to where you want to be. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, I feel like for me personally, there has to be some kind of middle ground, because nobody's given a set time that they're going to be here, right? At any point in time that you can just stop, your heart stops, just whatever happens, an accident, somebody else does something, just anything, the world itself could just end. And it's like, if you spend your time kind of just working and no fun, then what does it all kind of amount to? Especially if it gets stopped in the middle, which could happen to anybody. But you know what I mean? Just that process and that thought process of, I want to make life worth it while I'm still here, because I don't know. You're not promised tomorrow. So I want to sit here and actually think and find a middle ground between hustle culture, which I feel like wrapped everybody up like quite a few years ago, and actually living life and enjoying. You know what I mean? I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to go and understand different things, try different foods, meet different people, and really just kind of explore life and enjoy it. Like, yes, I do want to work. I still want to take my exams. I still want to get a great career. But at the same time, what's the point of working so hard just for, it hits me too, the fact that some people decide to wait until retirement to travel, right? Like, I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but for me, it's like, it's just such a long time. You know what I mean? Even though it feels like life goes by faster and faster, the older that you get, it's still like, if you don't retire until 60, if you get the chance to retire the way the economy is and how they may not have Social Security for us, or for people, my age and younger, by the time we get older, if that even can support you doing, you don't know if you're gonna have medical bills, you don't know if something may happen. Like I said before, you could have an accident, you could, like, anything can happen and prevent you from actually enjoying stuff to the fullest. Because if I get to 60, 70, so let's say, I lose my job, I have to switch over, and so I have to wait a little bit longer to retire. Who's to say I'm going to live long enough to retire at that age? Who's to say I'm going to be fully able to walk and enjoy if I go somewhere? You know what I mean? I'd rather do it now. I'm still more able-bodied than I would be if I was going to be 60, 70, versus, if I go enjoy it, I can still run around, I can still go do stuff, I can still kind of be doing certain activities that you don't really, you can age out of. You know what I mean? Just like clubs, right? Let's say, for example, I feel like you can age out of clubs. Like, yes, you can go to an older folks club, like where they play R&B, they play, you can still get into rock and like certain aspects, but it doesn't feel the same to be as old as I am now to be hanging around like 22, 24, 20, 21 year olds like drinking and having fun type of thing. Like it gets to a point where it's just like, yeah, y'all are kind of too young of a crowd to be around because I'm not trying to be as rowdy, which, I can still have fun, but that's not what I want my night to be. You know what I mean? It was different back in the day when, everybody was drinking till they threw up and passing out and blacking out and stuff. And it's just, haha, it's a funny story, but you get to near 30, they're gonna be like, okay, well, you kind of got a problem. You know what I mean? So for me, I want to enjoy stuff and figure out what makes me happy, where I can have a balanced life, where I can travel, I can still work hard, I can still do things. I don't want to wait for such a long time for stuff to come. Like I understand patience can be a virtue, it can be important, and there's things you do have to wait for, but why does this have to be one of them? If you can live your life a million different ways, why do you have to put yourself through the most suffering? And who says that you have to suffer? You know what I mean? Like, does anybody ever ask the question, why do we do certain things and why certain things are like, why is that? Like, why can't things be easier on yourself at some points, but, and sometimes be hard? You know what I mean? Why does it always have to be the hard route to learn and grow? Why can't you ever take the easy route sometimes? But I don't know, that's just my thought process on it, because it's just like, I don't know, just getting older, you just think differently. You got a whole spiritual journey, find out who you are, what you want to do, how you, like I said, how you want to live your life, what you want to believe in, what your values are, and things just kind of change. And it's just like, you don't really notice the difference until like you look back at your previous mindsets where you're just like, man, like, gaming used to be real big for me. I used to love game. I could spend hours on a game, hanging out with the boys. We'd be playing something, and then that just consumed my whole day. I could literally sit there from sun up to sundown at nighttime, and even overnight, and we'd be gaming till like 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, and then go to sleep. And I was just like, I can't do that. It's just not important. Like real life goals have become more of an important thing than gaming is. Wanting to actually have hobbies has become a more important thing. I can't really sit down on a game for too long without actually getting bored. Like I have quite a few games. I got Sekiro. I love playing Elden Ring. I play PvP games like Marvel Rivals. I can pretty much play just about everything except for I don't like turn-based games. But I used to be able to, I still like those games, but I just can't sit down and do it. And now I have to kind of find something to replace those, because you can't work all the time. Your brain needs a chance to relax and to be able to kind of sit on and fully absorb that knowledge. You can't just always be taking in information, you know what I mean? So I have to sit down and actually be like, okay, well, what do you want to do with yourself? Do you want to learn to draw? Do you want to read more books or get back into reading? Do you want to paint? Do you want to go outside and find like a sport? Do you want to join a men's club? Do there's a million different things that you can do. And then just to find out like what it is it's a little nerve wracking, because I'm just like, man, there really is a lot. There is a lot. And then you still have to juggle kind of your finances. Like if you want to dating people, and if you want to be alone, doing that. But no, it's just a journey, man. Like for me, I've tried out drawing a little bit. It's cool. I don't really feel a need. And honestly, I don't know how you're supposed to feel about hobbies. Like, I know you're supposed to enjoy them, but for me, I've always been a little bit weird about stuff. Like, am I supposed to, I question everything. Am I supposed to like hobbies as much as like, let's say I liked gaming, right? Like, but that's the thing. That was a different time, and now I'm focused on different stuff. Am I supposed to feel the same way about gaming or about my hobby as I did gaming back then, like where it's just like I want to do it, have so much fun doing it. I want to show it to other people and do it with other people. Like, is that I'm supposed to feel? It's supposed to be something I just pick up at the random that I just kind of do for like calming and it's fun at that time. Like, how are you supposed to feel about this? How do you know if a hobby is right for you? Like, I know for me, I love soccer, but I haven't played it in so long. It's like, do you really love it? Like, what if you go play it and you don't like it? Do you really like drawing? Is that something for you? Is that something that you just do because you think it'd be cool to learn how to draw certain things? Or is it something that you actually like? Like, I know I like reading, but honestly, I haven't read like a book for personal pleasure in a long time. I usually like finance books, like Think and Grow Rich, The Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I enjoyed those books because it helped me. But I used to love reading fantasy, like high fantasy books, action and adventure, horror, Southern Gothic. Kind of like if anybody's ever read The Lottery in school, I like that. What's another one? I used to read Edgar Allan Poe a lot, and it's like, man, you just got a million things to think about, especially when you're going on the journey, because nobody else can kind of do it for you. You kind of gotta go walk through it yourself, and I guess that's the beauty of it. So you can go explore and do things. And they always say that sometimes it's not the destination, it's the journey that you're supposed to enjoy through life. You know what I mean? You don't want to just hit the end goal. You want to actually have stuff in the middle to make it interesting. So I think that's what I'm just gonna do. I'm gonna take the time to figure out me. I really thought about dating at this period, but I don't know. It's just the dating pool really ain't much to be in right now. And plus, it's always good to have your alone time to really kind of figure out who you are, what you want to do, how you want to continue to live. Like, even for me, I'm changing up my style. Like, I won't be wearing this. I used to love just like all black sweatpants. You can't really see my legs, but and slides on. That's been my attire for quite a few years now. I'm just like, is that really what I want to wear? Because I'm not a big fan of streetwear. I'm just not. Like, I like some stuff, but I don't like all the some of the stuff that they push, because it just feels a little bit manipulative, honestly. It feels a bit manipulative, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. It's because even though I know these people are artists, it seems to me, I don't know too much about streetwear, so if somebody has different information, they can let me know, right? It feels to me that they just take regular clothing, right? And they may burn holes in it, they may paint over it, they may add their own logo, and then they sell it to you for like $300, $500, and that's it. And it's just like, well, technically you could do that yourself. No, you can burn holes in your own shirt, you can paint over your own stuff and call it fashion. Like, are they really doing something that you couldn't do yourself, and that you're gonna pay this amount of money just because what? Just because the name? Like, I personally don't get it. So I'm not the biggest fan of streetwear. I like just kind of regular plain stuff. That's why I started getting what are they called? They're not khakis. It's gonna come to me. It's like a type of dress pants. It's like a middle of the road, like jeans/dress pants. You can dress them up or down. And chinos, there we go. I got some chinos, and they're nice. That's what I'm saying. They're nice. You can pair them with a regular shirt like this, and add some more color. I got some green ones that go good with my skin. And it's been kind of cool, kind of looking up the different ways I can pair stuff together and, be a little bit more fashionable, be a little bit more presentable. And kind of, as I ease into my more mature stage in life, kind of see the actual transformation. I'm working out a little bit more, trying to take my health a little bit more seriously, getting some health insurance because I've been surviving without it. But at a certain point in time, it's just time to get some. Like I said, fashion, health insurance, working out. I want to see myself in the best physical aspect as I can, that's possible for me. You know what I mean? You might as well see yourself at your best at one point in your life. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's pretty much it. just kind of going. Whole thing was about just kind of discovering self-discovery, spiritual, which I can get into that side later on whenever I get deeper in these videos, because I want to be able to talk about everything. I feel like there should be a space where you can talk about stuff, what you're going through, because these are real human emotions. I'm not super unique, so I know somebody else has had these thoughts, have gone through these things, and maybe just maybe scared to voice it out loud for other people to hear out of fear of being judged. But it's just like, bro, you're gonna be judged anyway, so I might as well just put it on here and see if somebody likes the content. But other than that, hopefully everybody's having a great, what is about to be 4th of July. So, hopefully you see this video then. If not, I'm still editing because I tend to make videos and just not even put them out. But yeah, we're gonna change that. But hopefully everybody's doing good. Hopefully I may decide to do a mixture between just yapping and structured content, so I can talk about certain things in a more structured way than just kind of me talking about it and kind of trailing off. This might just be one of those videos where you just kind of like put on in the background, somebody talks, and you're gonna do whatever. It doesn't matter. And I may have more serious videos where I may sit down, actually edit stuff in, and actually have more structured talking points to make it a little bit clearer instead of just me going on and on. It just depends on what the people like. So yeah, that's about it. Appreciate everybody. I'm about to go get myself cleaned up, get a shower, shave up the beard, keep it, but shave it, and do something with the hair. So hopefully y'all have a great rest of y'all's weekend, and talk to y'all soon. Peace.